We saw some incidents of violence on Sunday. What's the atmosphere like where you are today?
Well, actually, right now, I would say the atmosphere is pretty peaceful. Since about 6:30 this morning when we got here, we've been able to see that there are crowds slowly swelling here. The organisers have called for as many as 50,000 people to come here. And what we saw earlier were groups of sort of church groups actually singing Yea, Hallelujah. And I asked one of them, why are you singing that song in particular? And she said to me, we want to diffuse the tensions and we want the police to be relaxed. And you can see that there are a lot of police deployed here. One number put it at 5,000 Hong Kong police deployed around the Legislative Council overnight. And you can see right down at the beginning of the entrance into the forecourt of the Legislative Council, there are riot police completely decked out in shields and batons, ready to deal with any protests should those protests get violent. But at the moment, we seem to have been entertained in a way by some people singing, and now there are some speeches taking place. One thing I can possibly say is that the crowd is slowly swelling here.
David, what are we expecting to happen at the Legislative Council later?
Well, in terms of the process, the President of the Legislative Council announced yesterday that there are going to be 66 hours of discussion about the Extradition Bill. So there's going to be a lot of discussion about amendments to the bill that have been put forward by the opposition, and that means that opposition leaders will be able to give them time for discussion of the bill. But at the end of the day, by next Thursday, not tomorrow, but by next Thursday, around about 9 o'clock in the evening, there's expected to be a vote, and that vote is also expected to be carried for the government's extradition bill. That is because we have a Legislative Council here which is heavily skewed towards people on the pro-government side.
David, what have we heard from the international community so far?
Well, the international community has been pretty vocal for a change on its opposition to the bill. We actually heard from the State Department yesterday. They put out a statement, and in that statement they were saying that they were concerned that this extradition bill would erode some of the freedoms that have been guaranteed to Hong Kong since the former British colony was handed back to China. But at the same time, there was a high degree of autonomy and guarantees on having different legislations. And the big concern here, of course, is that if you pull down the firewall between the Hong Kong jurisdiction, the Hong Kong law, and the Chinese way of doing law, then you're really just merging these two areas and completely eroding the whole idea of Hong Kong being a highly autonomous place in which to do business, and also undermining its status as an independent financial centre in Asia.